Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. I hope that you guys are ready for this live because I definitely am. Good morning, Larry. Good to see you. Good morning, everyone. Hope that you're good. What's up, coolest mom ever? Good to see you. Good morning, Alice. Good morning, Rosie. Good morning. If you are joining me over here on Substack, on Facebook, or on YouTube, please say hi so I can greet you. What's up, Grammy? Hey, Laronica. What's up, Pamela? Hey, Bree. Can you text Grammy and tell her I'm live? Hello, Sandy. Good morning. How is everyone? What? Hey, Angela. Hey, Dorian. Good to see you. How is everybody? Hey, Farah. What's up, Conchita? Hey, Rachel. Good morning, Barry and Josephine. What's up, Doug? How are you? Hey, Donna Ski. Just let me see who else I missed. Good morning, Grandma the OG. Hello, Nikki. Hey, Ella. What's up, Brandy? Good morning, people. Hey, Linda. Yes, Sandy, I can. Appreciate you. And thank you for the reminder. Um, I was really like ready to go and I still am, but then my kiddo, I think I told you that one of my daughter's friends is in Palestine, providing medical aid and things. And my kiddo just showed me her friend's last story, and I'm a little discombobulated, but it's okay. And I'm not going to talk about it because I don't want to get flagged. Um, but it was disturbing to see. Hey, Sandra. Hopefully your stress test turned out okay. Yeah, not cool. Hey, Win Dixie. Hey, Michelle T. Good to see everybody. Let me first start by saying that if you do not already follow me on Substack, I really hope that you will do that. I wrote a new Substack article this morning. Good morning, Renee. Hey, Cheryl. And I'm actually going to share it with you all. Hey, Cats Mandu, as we get going. What's up, Tawana? Hey, Miss B and Carla. Good to see everybody. I'm going to share the Substack with you this morning. Try not to stress it. Dale Gray, very hard when you see what I just saw. Very hard not to stress it when you see what I just saw. And good morning, Z. How are you? Good morning, San. Good to see you all. What's up, Lady Writer? All right, so folks, as you all can see, the subject matter today is one that I had touched on a little bit yesterday before we kept going, and I'm going to touch on it a lot today. We're going to be talking about. I did, Sandy. I did. Well, shit. Okay, thanks. That was really quick. I was like, "What do you mean? I did already." I totally missed it. So, bu- 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 if you do not follow me on Substack, do me a favor and put a 1 in the comments. If you don't follow me already on Substack, put a 1 in the comments for me, please. What's up, Crystal? Good to see you. All right, so okay, so guys, on Substack, just like on TikTok, like on Substack, I mean on Facebook and Blue Sky and YouTube, I am at the Danny Cook. And so I'm going to share with you a Substack that I wrote this morning. And then we're going to kind of dive into everything and then we'll go from there. Okay. So I hope that everybody is doing okay. What's up, Debbie? Good to see you. What's up, Masani? Hey, Neuro Mama. Hey, Sherry. All right, so here we go. I'm going to share with you right now my Substack article from today. Okay. What's up, Mr. Barrios? Yes, baby. Okay. Well, go ahead. Do you want me to help you find it? Okay, bring it over here and I'll help you. All right, so I'm going to share the Substack with you. So if you read it, you'll just bear with me as I read it to everybody else. What's up, Blue Honey Pot and Dax? Good to see you. All right, so let me pull this Substack article up for you guys and go from there. I love Substack. Oh, thanks. I have not ever seen that one, Sandy. Appreciate it. Hey, Cynthia, let me help her get to go potty while I get you to Rainbow Friends. You go potty. Yep. Good girl. You know how kids get carried away playing their games or watching TV and they try to hold it for as long as they can? It is not like Reddit. I've never been on Reddit, so I couldn't really tell you. What's up, Natalie? So, hey, Debbie. So Substack, I actually very much love it. It is there's a lot of great folks that are on there that are writing articles. They can write them, they can do videos, they can do audios, they can do lives, all of those types of things. And I really do. I'm a fan of Substack. Um, Let me see. Let me get her on. Okay, so she's going to be ready to go. All right. Yeah, I see Reddit, but here's the thing. Here's what I know. Only politics, definitely not Michelle T. Definitely not only politics. So, hey Jeremiah's people, appreciate you guys for hitting the live goal already. Thank you for the octopus. I appreciate that very, very much. Oh, before I read the Substack, let me go ahead and give you guys an announcement. So, Network Nova does a they do a power lunch on Fridays, and it's like a podcast that they do. They've had some really phenomenal guests, and I'm very appreciative of the fact that they have invited me to be on with them. So yesterday we met for about an hour or so yesterday. Where they got to know me, they got to ask me some questions, what I thought about a lot of different things. And after that conversation, they extended the invitation for me to be on their podcast on August the 15th, and they're actually going to have me on for the entire hour. And I think they're going to do something that they don't usually do, which is take questions from people. People will be able to call in and ask questions. So I'm looking forward to that. Also, if you are in PA, if you are in Pennsylvania, I'm coming to the Lancaster area on the 8th, 9th, and 10th for the Rural 2050 event. I will be emceeing that event as well as facilitating the panels and the discussions. I know that Stacy and Lisa have already registered to attend, and all that. Come here, honey. Let me help you. Good job, girl. Love that. Good job. I know you did. I love that you did. What a good girl. Okay, here. Look, I already got you too. Look, see? You're welcome. There you go. There you go, love. Okay, you're all good. All right, so let me tell you what the panels are going to look like for that event, just so that you all know, in case you're interested in going. It is a rural focused event in Lancaster, PA. So we are going to have some panels, and then we're going to have some workshops. Is it in the link tree? Nope, Sharon, but we can get it there. The panels are going to be, there's going to be a diversity and rurality panel, and then there's going to be workshops on how to chase fascism out of your backyard. There's going to be a workshop on sorry, hold on, I'm looking. Another workshop is going to be 2050 action planning, like what it looks like to actually put some things in action. And then the third workshop is going to be faith and progressive space. And so that's going to be for the Rural 2050 event that is happening in Pennsylvania. I will be there the 8th, 9th, and 10th. The event is on the 9th, and I will fly out on the 10th. So there's that. So that I'm doing all my what do you call it? Housekeeping up front. If you are new to me, well, I'll do that in just a second. First, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and read the Substack to you guys. Okay. You ready? And I know I do a lot of reading on here, but a lot of it is usually like factual information. I want to share this one because it is a good introduction to what we're going to be talking about today and how I feel about things. And why I feel the way I do about them. If you are not familiar with Project Esther, which should be in my link tree, we're going to be talking about that today quite a bit. and about these two topics: the perversion of Christianity for political purposes, and the difference between being pro humanity versus anti-Semitism, because they are not the same thing. And we're going to be making very specific distinctions between those two things in this discussion. So it's really important that people be very clear about what we're talking about. Okay. So, here is I'm going to read the post to you. Sissy, don't talk a little quieter for me, please. So the title of this post is "Hey Heritage, Fuck Off," because that's how I feel about Heritage Foundation. Hey Heritage, fuck off. And then it says, Jesus wouldn't support your interpretation of Christianity. Neither do I. Like many people around the world, I am tired of watching domestic terrorists dressed in suits, hiding behind think tanks, corporations, and even administrations use Christianity to justify their actions. Too often, when we picture a quote unquote terrorist, they are wearing a turban, they're hiding in a cave in the Middle East and reading the Quran. In reality, the terrorists that we face in the United States today are riding in jets, standing behind podiums and pulpits, dressed in their Sunday best, talking about quote unquote American values and heritage while holding Bibles, sometimes upside down. And in true form, they are projecting their actions and plans onto the rest of us who are simply standing on the side of humanity like Jesus did. And as if from a page in the Bible they claim to know so well, they are attempting to persecute us the same way the kings and pharaohs did Jesus. They want to confuse the nation of Israel today with the Israel of the Bible, when in truth, the Israel of the Bible sometimes referred to a person, a people, or a place, depending upon what denomination you practice. For example, Jacob's name was changed to Israel in Genesis 32, chapter 32, verse 28. Before I go any further, let me say that none of that truly matters, because our government is intended to operate separate of a particular religion, even Christianity. I got you, Sandy. Thanks. Give me 1 second, folks. Okay. So before I go any further, let me say that none of that truly matters, because our government is intended to operate separate of a particular religion, even Christianity. Even if some of the founding fathers referred to quote unquote God, there are many other religions that believe in God as well, and their personal faith can guide their perspectives, but they cannot be put into law. There is a difference. So when Rafael Cruz, you may know him as Ted, tells Tucker Carlson that the reason he supports Israel is because the Bible tells him to, he's immediately in error. Now that we've established the importance of separating Christianity and all other religions from the government, let's get back to the blasphemy being committed by the Heritage Foundation, the Trump administration, and the GOP. It's important to note that speaking against the actions of a government official, a government, or its military is not speaking against the people under that government. Neither is it speaking against those people's religion. Let me say that again. Speaking against the government of Israel and the G side being committed at the direction of its president is not speaking against the people of Israel or their religion. And no matter how many times the Heritage Foundation says differently in their Project Esther document, it doesn't change that fact. Heritage, you do not get to make anyone who doesn't want the innocent people of Palestine unalived by Israeli forces part of an H network. Nope. That's not how free speech works. That's not how terrorism cells work. You are actually a perfect representation of how a domestic terrorist organization works. You just happen to be a rich, white American one. That's the reason many people miss it. But I see you. As a veteran, I took an oath to protect this country from all enemies, foreign and domestic. I might not be dressed in BDUs with Kevlar and combat boots armed with an M and a weapon, but dressed in yoga pants with a t-shirt and barefoot, armed with a computer, keyboard, live streaming, and a voice, I am still fighting and fulfilling my duty to this country. I know you believe that if you keep using Bible references and getting preachers to use the Lord's name in vain, which, by the way, you do realize that's what you're doing, right? Like the scripture isn't referring to man made curse words. It means using the word and the name of God in opposition to the teachings and principles of Jesus Christ. And that people will continue to support what's happening, but you're wrong. People are better than that. At our core, the vast majority of us want the same things. We want our neighbors and their children to have access to safe, quality health care. We want our children to be taught accurate history, even the uncomfortable parts, so that we learn from them, never repeat them, and continue becoming better together. We want our children safe in schools while our families are free to secure and protect their homes and persons. We want our healthcare decisions. We want to make our healthcare decisions privately with our families and doctors who are medically trained to determine what's best for us. We want to work and make enough money to own a home, feed and clothe our children without having to choose which bill not to pay or which medication not to pick up. And we want our parents and grandparents to spend their remaining years in decency and comfort because they have earned that. These things aren't partisan, no matter how much you want people to believe they are. They are human. And despite what Citizens United said, corporations are not people. We are. And we demand to be treated as such. So, yeah, take your perversion of a beautiful teaching, which is the teachings of Jesus Christ, and fuck all the way off. In continued service, me. So that is my Substack from today. Good morning, Tara Love. As you might be able to tell from the Substack, I was definitely feeling some sort of way. Um, and the reason I feel some sort of way is, I don't refer to myself as any particular religion. And the reason why I don't is because what I find is that politicians today and people today have perverted the original intent of most religions, right? And so I think that when you put a label on yourself in this day and age, it doesn't mean what you want it to mean. I know people who are Christians who are nothing like what is happening in the GOP today. But if you identify that way, then people are going to believe that you align with that. So, what I think is great about this, if I wanted to pick a silver lining that comes with that, is that you are now reliant upon your actions, your words, your deeds, how you actually live for people to know whether you're quote unquote a good Christian or a bad Christian. You can no longer just say I'm Christian and automatically be, presumed to be this great person. Hell no. What we know is there are many people that are claiming that label that suck as human beings. So now we get to really judge you by your fruit. And I love that because that is the way that it should be from the start. And if your fruit sucks, I hate to say it, but so do you. And you might want to might want to have a little talk with Jesus. Tell him all about your troubles. Do y'all know that song? You might want to do that. Because if your fruit is rotten, you got to fix some things. Right? And I'm not saying that anybody has to subscribe to a religion. I personally don't think it's necessary. Religion is man-made. The teachings of Christ are something completely different. Got it? So, the thing that really bothers me, having grown up what I call neck deep in church, is it bothers me to see people using something that could be used for healing and help to hurt people instead. It angers me. There's a moral injury that takes place that makes me want to throat punch you. And so, yeah, I feel some sort of way. Did you all know that I put it up in a post today. If you don't follow me on Facebook, if you do follow me on Facebook, you saw me put it up today. If you don't follow me on Facebook, I put it up today. And here's what I said. I said today 147 out of 93 countries already recognize a Palestinian state. How many of you all did not know that? How many of you all did not know that 147 countries already recognize a Palestinian state? And in the last week, France, Britain, and Canada have all announced that they will be doing so in the coming months. It's the United States of America that is up here still aligned with a government, not a people, but a government that is committing genocide against an entire group of innocent people. Now, when I say entire group of innocent people, I am not referring to the H organization. Let me just be very clear about that, right? I just want to be clear. I ain't talking about them. I am, though, talking about the men, women, and children who have nothing to do with them. And let me just say this. If you are angry at those innocent people, thank you, Christine, for maybe being conflicted in their support of them, let me just tell you why that exists. This is a complex situation. Let's just say this. Let's just say that you and I, we live in this country together, right? Me and you. And in our country, there are some bad people running the government. I know that seems far-fetched because surely that couldn't be a thing, right? And let's just say that those bad people that are running our government are actually, like, I don't know, hurting the people. Maybe they could even be rounding them up. Maybe they could be, putting them in prisons and things like that. I know it's far-fetched, but just go with me here. So let's just pretend that that's what's happening. But we also have a foreign country that is attacking our country, right? And they are unaliving us, and the people in our bad government are fighting the people that are unaliving us. Do you understand how it might be possible for us to dislike the government that's running our country, right? And support them in kicking the ass of the other people who are unaliving us? Do you see how those two things could coexist? Isn't that funny? Isn't that wild? Just throwing that at you. So let me just give you an example. Hey, Carla, what's up? So let me give you an example. If right now Russia decided to attack the United States of America and they were unaliving innocent children in schools, in hospitals, the elderly in nursing homes, if Russia started today attacking our food banks, and our homeless shelters and all of that, right? And the Trump administration and Pete Hegseth, who y'all know I can't stand, took action against Russia, would I not support them in their effort against Russia? Wouldn't I? Wouldn't you? Of course you would. Of course you would. Even though you don't support what they're doing in other ways. I want you all to stop pretending like humanity, and the way that we live in this world is such a singular thing. It's not. We're not single issue human beings. We cannot be single issue voters. We cannot live as if things are black and white, because they are not. Life is a big ball of ugly ass 55 plus shades of gray. I couldn't say 50 because y'all know, right? This is why I don't know why that is. I don't know why that is. Um, but I really want to point that out, right? So Doug says, over on Facebook, he says, at the same time, there are people who are making the daily choice to examine themselves to make sure that they are doing their best and walk upright before God. Unfortunately, they get lumped in with those who claim Christianity but act in opposition to the teachings of Jesus Christ. Here's what I would say about that. If those people that are professing to be Christians and they are walking upright before God, if that does not include publicly calling out the people that are claiming Christianity that are doing the bad things, then there's a problem. If the Christians that are following the teachings of Christ are not calling out the other Christians in positions of power who are misusing scripture, if those same Christians are saying, oh well, we're being persecuted, that's a problem, because you're not being persecuted. You're not. The people that are being held accountable for their hypocrisy are not being persecuted. They're being held accountable. Accountability is not persecution. And if you're not doing the things that those people are being held accountable for, then there's no need to feel persecuted. It's the same thing that we say when we talk about racism in this country, right? Nobody is telling YT people today that you are responsible for what your ancestors did 200 years ago or even in the 40s. Nobody is saying that. What I am saying is that if you are not doing your best in your areas of influence to undo the ramifications of that, then you are responsible. You're not responsible for what happened then, but you're responsible for what continues to happen today. So if you're not down at your state legislature speaking out in protest of gerrymandering, you're part of the problem. Let me say that again. I'm okay with stepping on everybody's toes today. Everybody. I'm an equal opportunity toe stepper today. If you are a YT person today and you are not calling, writing, and going to see your state representatives, and you are not calling a thing, and you're not speaking out against gerrymandering, you are part of the problem, because gerrymandering is a tool of racism. I did not say that you are a racist. There's a difference. What I said is you are enabling a tool that is being used by racist people. You see how that works? That's what that is. So this is what I mean when I talk about Christianity. I do not believe that every Christian is a problem. I don't. What I believe is that if you are a Christian, and I don't even like to use that word because that, again, is a man-made word. But if you consider yourself to be a follower of the teachings of Jesus Christ, and you are not holding your pastor and your church accountable for whatever politician they let visit your church, you're part of the problem. If you're not telling your pastor a politician should not be in your pulpit, you're part of the problem. If your pastor, hi Ronnie from Higher Ground Baptist Church in Kingsport, if your pastor went to January 6th, he's part of the problem. If your pastor or your preacher is talking about immigrants and illegals, they're part of the problem. And if you aren't telling everybody that they are part of the problem, you are also part of the problem. I am super tired of the perversion of Christianity for political gain. And it is being done by a particular group of people. See, some of y'all got mad and quit watching. That's okay. That is okay. Because you heard what I had to say already anyway. So, okay. So Doug, good point. You said at your church you regularly call out people like Creflo Dollar, Benny Hinn, and TD Jakes. That's easy to do because those are the national people. My question is, are we calling out the people in our community? I wonder how many people sitting in your churches all across this country voted for Donald Trump. Are you all having that conversation in your church? I bet you're not. I bet you're not. I bet there's not a Christian church or very few that are having a conversation about, did you vote for Trump? Because I don't know if any church is doing that. Because in most churches I know, they don't want to talk about who they vote for. When Dixie said, I talked with the pastor's wife and then she voted for Trump. Yeah, see, she's a problem. So, do y'all remember when we left off yesterday? We were looking at Doug Wilson and his wife Nancy, who are the pastors for Pete Hegseth. Do y'all remember us? We were going down their road and we were looking into them. I looked a little further. That's why I'm still mad today. I'm not mad. It's why I'm still fired up today about it, though. Okay, this is why. Right. Okay. So, and I hear you when you say you pointed out that AB wasn't the only issue to consider in the last election, and that the actions of the current president should be considered. And so, here's what I would ask you: is what did the people at your church say? What did the people at your church say in response? Uh, Maya says the pastor and his wife next door to me are proud Trump supporters. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. You have to realize we as pastors have to walk one step ahead of the people if we get too far ahead. I'm not sure I know what that means, Lens. Can you join the panel and tell me what that means so that it doesn't get lost in translation in the comments? Okay, and we're gonna get there. Deuces Wild and Doug, we're gonna get to the conversation about AB in just a second. We're gonna get there in just a second. That is one of my I love to have that conversation about people. But I want to I hope I didn't close it out. I might have because she was just flat out damn disgusting. Um Hold on, let me get to the other piece. Y'all know I have 20,000 tabs open cuz I look at so much stuff. But let me see if I can find her real quick. Let me get rid of this one and this one, this one and this one. I can be done with this one. Um, oh yeah, we're going here in just a second too. Um, some agreed and some didn't. They focused on RB. Okay, so Doug, keep a pin right there. I'm going to come back and we're going to have a real conversation about AB from from the responsibility of a Christian's perspective. So, because that's what I think we need to do. Okay, and we're going to get there in just a second. Um, he said, I even used your line about being pro both and not pro life. Yeah, that's not as effective. I'm okay. So remind me, y'all remind me to come back to Doug and Nancy Wilson's ass. Okay. Remind me to come back to them. So, okay. So if you consider yourself to be a Christian or a follower of Christ, and you feel comfortable saying that, okay, I would like for you to answer these 4 questions for me. Okay. Because Doug, you know that I grew up that way. Okay. And by the way, just so everybody knows, God and Jesus are still, I'm still good with them and they're still good with me. Okay. I just don't like what mankind has done to this, to the quote unquote religion of it. Right. So, um, If that is who you consider yourself to be, these are the questions that I have. Number 1, do you believe that all life comes from God? Is God the giver and the creator of life? Yes or no? And I'm going to wait till I see yes or no's in the comments because I want us to come on. I want us to do this work together. Joy says yes. Heather, are you a Christian? Okay, this is the question. If you consider yourself to be a Christian, a follower of Christ, of Jesus Christ, does all life come from God? Is God the creator and giver of life? Yes. Yes for outsider. Yes for curious. Yes for Sharon. Yes for, okay, yes. Yeah. God higher power. Yes. Yes. And this is specific. I'm only asking you this question if you consider yourself to be a Christian slash follower of Christ. I'm only talking to those people. Okay. Got it. Perfect. Everybody's saying yes. Second question. Is God all knowing? Does he know your beginning from your end? Does he know, did he know you when you were created in the womb? Like, does he know what you're going to do before you do it? Really, don't do that. What? What? You don't know where Uncle Rod's at? Okay, I'll call him. So let me just tell y'all the fact that this baby just asked me about my 86-year-old uncle out of nowhere, and she's only met the man once, makes me go, so I'm getting ready to text my mama and have my mama call my uncle and make sure he's good. Because I just believe in those kind of things. Okay. All right. So yes, everybody is saying yes. Everybody is saying yes. That God knows your beginning from your end, what you're going to do before you do it, right? Lynn, I have invited you to the panel, so if you need clarification, come on up here and ask it, right? Um okay. I already did, Tara Love. I already texted my mom. Okay, so now next, do you believe that God is omnipresent? Do you believe that God is everywhere present? Sherry, absolutely. Yes. Okay, yes. You guys believe that God is everywhere present? Yeah? Yes. Okay, I'm getting yeses from everybody. Number 4. Number 4. Do you believe that God is all powerful? And I'm talking to folks that identify as Christian, people that are followers of Christ. Do you believe that God is all powerful? Yes. Absolutely. Yes. 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 Everybody is saying yes. Okay. So by what everyone is saying to me, here are the things that you have agreed, you have told me about God. The God that you serve, that you believe in. You have told me that your God is the creator and giver of all life. You have told me that he is all knowing and he knows what we're going to do, our beginning from our end. You have told me that he is everywhere present, and you have told me that God is all powerful. Based on what you've told me about the God you serve, that would mean that at the time he gives a woman life in her belly, he knows if she's going to have an AB or not. He is in the clinic when she does, and he does not use his power to stop it. So, my question to you is, why do you think You know better than God. And that's really truly what I want to know. Why do you think you know better than God what experience this person needs in their life to get wherever they are going to be? We do not know. We do not know what people need to experience to get wherever God wants them to be, if that is what you believe. So, why do you think you know better than God? You cannot. If you truly believe in God and his sovereignty, and if you truly believe the things that you just said to me, if you really believe that your God is the giver of life and that God is, he knows all things and is all powerful and is everywhere present, if you really believe that God makes no mistakes, then you would mind your business when it comes to AB. And that is okay. Uncle Rod is good. Mila, Uncle Rod said he's at home and he loves you. She literally looked at me out of the blue and said, Tutu, I don't know where Uncle Rod at. And I said, what? And she said, I don't know where Uncle Rod at. I text mom. I said, can you call Uncle Rod, please? Okay. But do you see what I'm saying to you all? If you really believe, if you really believe that, if you have real faith, then you wouldn't try to control the things that God has already said he doesn't control. Doug said, hey, Bree, this is the point that I'm making, folks. When you truly have faith, you don't feel you don't feel the need to try to control everything because you believe that God is really working everything out for your good. You really believe that God is working everything in your favor. You understand that you aren't here to know everything that God already knows. If you really believe, if you really have faith, then you walk by that faith and not by sight and say, I don't understand it, but it ain't my place. I don't see the end, but it's not my place. And then I don't have to argue scripture. I don't have to argue scripture. I don't have to argue gestation. I don't have to argue viability. I don't have to argue an embryo, a fetus, a baby. I don't have to argue any of those things. What I'm going to say to you is based on what you told me about the God that you believe in, about the God that you serve. Follow me? Yeah, baby. You want some more of that? I got you. Can you come get it from me, baby? So, this is what I'm talking about, folks. So, I was having a conversation with some folks yesterday and they said that as a candidate, there are people that don't want to have this conversation in small towns and rural communities or heavily conservative communities, and I'm like, have this conversation, but have the right conversation. The conversation isn't about whether God wants anybody to take a life. That ain't the conversation. The conversation is, why do you think you know better than God? That's the conversation. The conversation is, you better get your ego in check. The conversation is, you might want to go back in your prayer closet because you came out doubting. You think that people need man's law more than they need God's love. You think that people need man's law more than God's forgiveness. You think that people need man's law more than God's grace. See the problem with that? No, if you're not a Christian, if you're not a follower of Christ, none of this matters. I'm not even talking to you, but I am talking to the people that identify that way. And 100% talking to those of you that claim that that is your walk. Yeah, I know that most people compare it to unaliving someone, and that unaliving someone is, but here's the thing, in order to unalive someone, they would have to be able to live on their own. And now I'm talking about viability again, and I don't want to do that. People want to compare it to that because unaliving someone is a really high standard, right? People want to, again, that's man's law, that unaliving is illegal, right? Can we talk about God's law? Because God's law said, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife. And I know plenty of damn politicians and pastors that have coveted and taken their neighbor's wife. If we're gonna talk about the things that are law, okay? If we're gonna talk about them things, see, but nobody wants to do that. They want to talk about the easy one. And by the way, can I say this? That before King David, let me just say this, y'all. David was an adulterer and an unaliver. And do you know how God described him? Do y'all remember how God described David? He said he's a man after my own heart. How about that? In all of that sin, he said that is a man after my own heart. We do not see people how God sees us. We do not see people how Christ sees us. So you might want to stop dictating people's lives as you see them, because you don't have the eyes of God. You don't have the eyes of Christ. Therefore, you do not get to determine what works for people. Have several seats. Mind your business. Most people don't want to have the conversation about religion and politics. I do. I do all day, every day, because if there ain't nothing else I know a little bit about this here Christianity. I've been in a pulpit teaching people. Y'all ain't know that about me, did you? Y'all think because I say fuck, I'm a heathen. And I keep telling y'all, find fuck in the Bible and we'll talk about it one day. Because you can't. Do you know what taking the Lord's name in vain really is? It's when you use the name of God to justify doing things that goes against the teachings of Christ. That's what taking the Lord's name in vain is. It ain't about them words. Listen, y'all can say sugar, and if the intent of your heart was shit, you still cursed. If the intent of your heart was to curse you, it doesn't matter what you say. You can say apples, peaches, oranges, and strawberries. And if your heart is, I am cursing you, that's what you're doing. Do you want to know how I know I'm so good with who I am? Because I know the intent of my heart. I know that when I say fuck, I am not me. I am not cursing nobody. It's just an expression. And it happens to be one that gets people's attention. That's it. I'm good. You can't shame me. You can't condemn me. You can't tell me I'm going to hell, because I'll just say, well, okay, I'll say hi when you get there. I'll tell your mama what's up. Right, Mr. Barrios. Right. He said he uses it like a comma. Right. It's like saying except better. Right, Angel. I won't be alone. That's for sure. I will not be alone. And I really need to tell y'all something. I don't believe that every Christian, here's the understanding that I have is I don't believe that every Christian supports all of the things that are being done by all of these raggedy people that are calling themselves Christians. I don't believe that. What I believe is that Christianity, at least the way that I experienced it, okay, has never been really fond of questioning or holding leadership accountable. And we have that demonstrated in this country very effectively. How do I know that religion, especially Christianity, has a hard time holding its leadership accountable? I know because of the Southern Baptist Church, and there are several hundred victims, right? And the pastors and the teachers and the ministers that they moved around to different congregations to hide them. I know because of the hundreds and hundreds of parishioners that were in Catholic churches, and the cardinals kept moving them around and move this bishop here and move this bishop there. See, I know that organized religion, that man-made thing that is a business in this country, that is registered as a 501c3 so that they don't have to pay taxes, they're worried about their brand. See, if you are looking at Christianity like a brand, you got a problem. What does the Bible say about the man who prays in public to be seen? What does it say about that? You could just as easily say, you could just as easily take that scripture and make it say, the man who stands in front of a church with the Bible upside down to be seen. But instead, y'all were like, he's holding the Bible. Y'all, that man put a flag on a Bible as if Jesus belongs to only one nation, as if Jesus prefers one nation over another. Jesus said the Jew and the Gentile are the same. That's what he said. He said, God is no respecter of persons. Right. And the Constitution in the Bible, the Constitution that they trample in all damn day, all day. Exactly. Exactly, Doug. We have to call a thing a thing. Y'all, listen, there's a problem with Christianity when you got to have the slave Bible. Can we talk about it? Can we talk about it? Do y'all really want to talk about it? What's up, Rebecca Little Bird? I'm just asking. Do y'all want to talk about your slave Bible? The parts of it that you put for the Negro to read? Huh? The fact that, listen, you know something's up when they only let you read one book and it's that one. There's a problem. There's a problem, people, if they won't let you read any book except that one. That would be the one book I ain't trying to read. What's the slave Bible? Google it. It literally is the slave. Okay, look, let me show y'all what it looks like. I'm going to show you what it looks like. There it is. You can find it in the Museum of the Bible. Come on, don't take away my one picture for me. The slave Bible, let the story be told. And they done took the damn page down. Look at y'all doing something. Do y'all know? Okay, I ain't even gonna say nothing. Let me stop. I'm gonna stop right now. Okay, let me find what I'm looking for right now. Thank you. Here it is. I'm going to take this little picture down in my background right here. I'm going to turn my camera around for you. See that? That's what it is. You folks over here, I'm going to let y'all see it too. You ready? This is it. This is this unique Bible. Yeah. Just in case y'all didn't know, it's a thing. I need y'all to understand that the people that owned black and brown human beings, the people who owned African farmers and African physicians and African um, teachers and African plumbers and the people that owned them used to read this Bible while whipping them. They used to read the Bible. I'm just saying. Did y'all not know that? And then you wonder why there is such a problem and you wonder how the cognitive dissonance gets so strong when you can ingrain and intertwine faith, one of our core values, right? One of our core values with subjugation and enslavement. You are less likely to challenge it. Y'all get that, right? You do understand that, right? When you ingrain faith and religion, right, into someone, and it becomes, I want you to think, so if you are a follower of Christ, if you consider yourself to be a Christian, I want you to think about how personally you take that relationship with God. How important is it to you? That's the question I'm asking right now. On a scale from 1 to 10, how important is your relationship with God as a follower of Christ? On a scale from 1 to 10, how important is it to you? It's a 10. If that's who you consider yourself to be, right? So now what I want you to do is I want you to think about the black and brown people, the African people that were enslaved, who were then converted into Christianity, right? Using a Bible that taught them to obey their master as unto God. And then I want you to think about how less likely that makes it that those people would revolt against their enslavers, that those people would question their enslavers, that those people would leave their enslavers because they are that what they're being told is that the God that they love, that they serve, they are supposed to subject themselves to their enslavers as they would to that God. There is an intentionality that is being done there. That is one of the reasons. That is one of the reasons that people want to take their religion into all these other countries trying to colonize people, spreading the gospel. And then you get mad when somebody whips your ass and tells you, don't be coming over here with your stuff. Y'all talk about Christians being persecuted in other countries because you're over there trying to colonize them. Stay at home and nobody would be getting you. Right? You take yourself to somebody else's country to tell them that their religion, their God, who they worship is wrong. And then you get mad if those people decide to whip your ass while you in their country criticizing their God and their faith. People get mad at me when I say that. That's okay. Be mad. Right, but Christianity was in Africa already when they came. You got that, Alvin? But then they teach it a different way, right? They teach it a different way. That's why I call it the perversion of Christianity. Thanks, Carla. Appreciate it. Y'all got that, right? It tickles me that y'all think Christianity, y'all Americans need to take Christianity to Africa. Y'all do know where Africa is created, right? Y'all do know where it's positioned. You do know who its neighbors are, don't you? Do you know where Egypt is? Do y'all know? That's the problem with Americans. We ain't really good at geography. We think the world revolves around this continent, this country. Right. Egypt is in Africa, folk. There's a reason they took the map and laid it out in a way to make it flat and make it projected so that Africa looks smaller than everywhere else. When in truth, you could put Russia inside of Africa 3 damn times. Did y'all know that? Y'all don't really want to talk about bronze skin and curly hair, bronze feet. Y'all don't want to talk about that. Africa's not no country, it's a continent. This is what I'm talking about when I talk about the perversion of Christianity for politics. Exactly, Rebecca Littlebird. She said, our lack of education is intentional. You best believe it. Okay, let me ask y'all a question. Serious question. What do you imagine the conversation was? What do you imagine the conversation was when somebody said, let's paint a picture of Jesus to hang in the church? What do you think the conversation was? Because if you read the book, it's real clear. The description is not confusing. What do you think this conversation was? How do you think it came about? That he was ebony or ivory? I mean, come on, y'all. What do you think the conversation was like? Do you believe that they would want people worshiping a brown man? Because y'all know that's what it would be. Like if you are trying to tell me that this is the person that we are to worship, and this is the person that got up on a cross and died for y'all, unalived for y'all. What's the conversation? Can you imagine sitting? So this is what I have to do, y'all, sometimes for me to get a real true understanding of what people meant towards me. He wasn't ivory. So my question is, how did the paintings, how did the pictures become what they were? Felicia says Leonardo da Vinci's boyfriend's daddy. Oh, y'all want to go all the way. Oh, y'all want to go all the way there? I wasn't trying to go like all the way there. Because then we got to go like King James, and we don't want to do all that today, do we? But at a bare minimum, let me just start right here. At a bare minimum, let's talk about it. Okay. Because what I do, and for those of y'all who don't know, I'm biracial, right? My mom was white, my dad was black. My father unalived when I was 6 months old. Okay. So let me share this with y'all. What I have to do, I don't have to, but what I do to get a clear understanding of what the people in charge meant towards me and mine is I actually imagine the conversations. I picture them having the conversations. Nope, this is my main account. You might have been following my backup account. So let me just say this. I picture the conversations, and I'm give you a prime example. The first time I learned about the Southern strategy. If you're not familiar with the Southern strategy, please put a one in the comments. If you are not familiar with the Southern strategy, please put a one in the comments. Oh, we're going to learn today. I love it. I love it. All right. So, the Southern strategy is a technique of the Republican Party. You say you know because of me. You from Tennessee, you definitely know. Yeah, I'm from Tennessee too, right? All right. So, the Southern strategy is a tactic of the Republican Party how to win the votes of racists without appearing racist themselves. Now, how do I know that this is a real thing? Because they told us. Well, they didn't tell us, but they told, right? Okay, so there was a man by the name of Lee Atwater. Lee Atwater was one of the most prominent, successful, rich ass Republican consultants. Okay. That's what he was. And Lee Atwater served under Nixon and Reagan and so forth and so on. And he did an interview in 1980 ish. I'm going to pull it up for you. Okay. And see, all I got to do is start to type it in, and my computer just goes bloop because I talk about this a lot. And so you learned about it because of me. Here we go. So Lee Atwater, he gave a 42-minute interview. And in that interview, he was asked the question, how do Republicans win the votes of racists without sounding racist themselves? Okay. The link to this video is in my link tree, okay, which is in my profile on all of these platforms. Now, I'm not going to play the words because I don't want TikTok to get me. But what I am going to do is show you the words because this is what he was asked. And I'm going to show you what he said. So let me turn this right on over for y'all. Take down the background. So this is what he said. I already answered that question, Rattler. This is what he said. Y'all can read it. I ain't got to read it to you. He started out in 1954 by saying what? By 1968, you can't say that. So you got to say forced busing and states' rights and all that. And then you get really abstract. You start talking about taxes and economic things. But a byproduct of them is blacks get hurt worse than whites, right? Today, instead of saying that word, they say woke, critical race theory, DEI, right? The tools are gerrymandering, redlining. Right. He said policies would be the best way to handle the quote unquote problem. Now, I want to tell you, I'm going to bring you all the way up to 2025. Can we do that? I'm going to take you all the way to 2025 and I'm going to tell you what your vice president said. Can I tell y'all what your vice president said? And I do mean the current one. I do mean the current one. Bless his soul. All right. So, what am I on? Oh, there we go. So now I'm going to take you. I'm a book girl too, y'all. I'm a books and facts kind of girl. And so JD Vance wrote the foreword to a book last year. The foreword happened to be for the former president of the Heritage Foundation, a man by the name of Kevin Roberts. Now, JD Vance recently, in the last few years, converted to Catholicism. He became a Catholic. He was not Catholic before. When he married his immigrant wife and had them babies, he was not. Am I a progressive Democrat like the mayoral candidate in New York? I don't really do labels. You would have to define what you consider to be a progressive Democrat. I don't know what that means. I'm not a member of any political party. So I've never subscribed to. All right. Right. JD Vance did pray his gay away. Actually, what happened is he came out to his grandmother and she said, "Boy, you ain't that." And he said, "Oh, okay. I must not be that." That's what happened. His grandmother shamed him and his grandmother prayed it away. Did you all not know that? Yes. JD Vance put that in his own book. In his own book. He said, "Granny, I think I like boys." And she said, "The hell you do. Not around here, you don't." Yeah. You didn't ever hear that? Hold on. We just gonna learn all kinds of things today, aren't we? Oh, low B. All right. JD Vance told grandmother he liked boys. Yep, here it is. In his book, The Hillbilly Elegy, he said, and I'm reading directly from the book. This is a quote. Quote, "I broached this issue with Mama, confessing that I was gay and I was worried that I would burn in hell. She said, quote, 'Don't be a fucking idiot. How would you know that you're gay?' End quote." I explained my thought process. Mama chuckled and seemed to consider how she might explain to a boy my age. And finally, she asked, quote unquote, "JD, do you want to suck them things?" That's what she asked him. And he said, I was flabbergasted. Why would someone want to do that? And she repeated herself. And I said, quote unquote, "Of course not." Then she said, "You're not gay. And even if you did want to suck them, that would be okay. God would still love you." That settled the matter. Apparently, I didn't have to worry about being gay anymore. He was a child, y'all. He was a child. Let me see if I could tell you all exactly how old he was when he said that. Yep, here's the part that came before that. He wrote this directly in the book. This is a quote again. Quote, "I'll never forget the time I convinced myself that I was gay. I was 8 or 9, maybe younger, and I stumbled upon a broadcast by some fire and brimstone preacher. The man spoke about the evils of homosexuals and how they had infiltrated our society and how they were all destined for hell absent some serious repenting. At the time, the only thing I knew about gay men was that they preferred men to women. This described me perfectly. I dislike girls and I like boys. So that is the question. And at 8 or 9, that's the question she asked him was, do you want to suck those? And when he said, why would anyone want to do that? And she said, well, then you're not gay. Because sure, that's the defining thing. Because like, can I just let y'all in on a secret? Women don't really want to suck them either. It's not a thing that we just be like, oh, I like boys. So yeah, I want to do that. No, don't nobody really want to do it. Just saying. I don't know where grandma got her standard at, but
You're killing me, Danny. I had to come off mute. You're killing me this morning. You're absolutely killing me.
I'm just saying.
Y'all don't wake up. That's not the first thing on your mind.
No, it is not. I promise you.
Somebody should have told Granny. Somebody should have told Granny. That way we wouldn't have to put up with hateful JD.
Right.
All
But that was what she asked. Do you want to suck those? And he was like, why would anyone do that? Want to do that? And I'm like, JD, I agree. Why would anyone want to do that? Right? I see you, Rebecca. Hey, Sterling. I'm just saying, why would anyone? But you know what I mean? I'm just saying. Right. And it's okay. You can enjoy doing it, but I promise you, it's not that. Let me just say this. It's like anything else. It's not that you enjoy doing it. Most likely, it is that you enjoy what it does for your partner. It's just like everything else that we do. If it becomes something that you enjoy doing with a particular person, it is typically because of what it does for that person. Typically. Right? There are some people that have oral fixations, and that's none of my business. But I'm just saying. So, but I want to tell you what JD went on to say about people, right? Woof. We cover lots of things in my lives. I don't know if my mama tuned in yet or not, but holy shit. Anyway, the point that I was the place where I was going is we were talking about the Southern strategy, were we not? We were talking about the Southern strategy, and we were talking, and yes, we were talking about the Southern strategy, and Lee Atwater was telling us how we needed to progress, right? How we needed to progress from saying the hard R word, right? To force busting and states' rights, and how we have progressed to all of those things. Because he says, listen, after 1968, which who knows what happened in 1968? That was the Fair Housing Act. That was the second part of the Civil Rights Act, right? 1964 was the Civil Rights Act, as most people know it, but 1968 was the second part, which is the Fair Housing Act, right? So it's the N word with the hard R. Oh, no, it ain't the hard N. It's the hard R that makes the difference. Okay. And I want you to keep in mind that that was the line that Lee Atwater drew in the sand. He specifically said after that time period, you could no longer use that word. Now, I want you to hear what J.D. Vance says about that same time period. Okay. So, in the foreword that he wrote for the Heritage Foundation's former president, Kevin Roberts, okay, JD Vance at the end of it says this, and now I'm going to read it to you. You ready? from the actual book. Don't buy the damn book. Go to Ocean of PDF. It's in my link tree and you can get it for free. Don't give this joker no money. So he said, here's an analogy I sometimes use to articulate what the previous generation of conservatives got right and wrong. Imagine a well-maintained garden in a patch of sunlight. It has some imperfections, of course, and many weeds. The very thing that makes it attractive for the things we try to cultivate makes it attractive for the things that we don't. And in an effort to eliminate the bad, a well-meaning gardener treats the garden with a chemical solution. This kills many of the weeds, but it also kills many of the good things. Undeterred, the gardener keeps adding the solution. Eventually, the soil is inhospitable. In this analogy, modern liberalism is the gardener. The garden is our country, and the voices discouraging the gardener were conservatives. We were right, of course. In an effort to correct problems, some real, some imagined, we made a lot of mistakes as a country in the 1960s and 1970s. Now I'm going to pause right there. As a country, what are the things that we did in the 60s and 70s? As a country, what are the things that we did as part of liberalism?
Civil rights.
What else did we do? Women's rights, equal rights, Civil Rights Act. Do y'all know what else we did? We did the Freedom of Information Act. Did you know that? We did the Legislative Transparency Act. We did that. Did you know that? So he says some of those were real problems and some of them were imagined. And he says, to bring the garden back to health, it's not enough to undo the mistakes of the past. The garden needs not just stop adding a terrible solution, though it does need that. It needs to be recultivated. The old conservative movement argued if you just got government out of the way, natural forces would resolve problems. We are no longer in this situation and must take a different approach. As Kevin Roberts writes, quote, it's fine to take a laissez-faire approach when you are in the safety of the sunshine. But when the twilight descends and you hear the wolves, you've got to circle the wagons and load the muskets, end quote. We are now all realizing that it's time to circle the wagons and load the muskets. In the fights that lay ahead, these ideas are an essential weapon. And that is signed by J.D. Vance. So we have to undo the things that we did in the 60s and 70s. I'm going to bring some folks up to the panel. So we have to undo those things. And people don't believe that they are coming for your rights. Absolutely, they are. And that's not a figment of my imagination. Those are his words. If you all don't understand that J.D. Vance and the people behind him are more dangerous than Donald Trump, I don't know what to tell you. He was simply the mechanism by which to get them through. Please, what were you trained from? I don't know what you mean.
She was trained in life.
Yeah, I just am like, what? What? I don't know what that means. Yeah, I've got it here to go over for everyone. Sorry, reading about trained. I'm confused. Reading. What am I reading? I was reading the foreword that was written by J.D. Vance in Kevin Roberts' book. And Kevin Roberts was the previous president of the Heritage Foundation. He only stepped down when Project 2025 became mainstream news. And the foreword to this book was published. And that was in July of last year. This book was supposed to be written. It was supposed to be released in September. They pushed the release of this book back until November 12th, 1 week after the election. Now, it never made it to Amazon during the campaign. They never released it on Amazon. They moved it in September when it was supposed to be released. It was supposed to be released in September, and they changed the cover. Correct. The cover used to say Dawn's Early Light, burning down Washington to save America. And in the middle of the book, there was a match on fire. And they changed it to say Dawn's Early Light, taking back Washington to save America, because burning shit down. But they talk about burning it down in the book quite a lot. Would you like to hear what they think about people? Would you like to know the people that they think are horrible and parasites and all of that? So they refer to the Democratic Party as the party of destruction. Okay. But I'm going to tell you what they think about people, not necessarily Democrats. So he talks about this group of people. I'm on page 4. You don't got to go really far into this book to get the idea. But they talk about the party of destruction wants liberation, emancipation. Why the fuck would that be a bad thing? Woo! And he says what connects the liberation of liberalism, the world revolution of communism, and the critical race theory is a vision in which tradition is the enemy of human potential, in which the individual must be freed from everything that stands in the way of his self-expression, whether he wishes to be freed or not, perhaps especially if he wishes to retain a traditional way of life. The party of destruction is the enemy of the existing human order as such, the enemy of all human orders. This book is Kevin Roberts, the president or the former president of the Heritage Foundation. I can show you a picture of him and Trump in the same jet in 2022 going to a Heritage Foundation event where they talked about Project 2025, the one that President Trump doesn't know anything about. That one. Yep. On a plane together, going to talk about it, but he don't know nothing about it. So he says, here's the most uncomfortable truth of all. The parasites that have taken over so much of our country, that would be anybody that is liberal or progressive. And then he describes who he believes those people are. He gives you some examples of parasites. Are y'all ready for them? Listen to what he considers parasites. You ready? But here's the most uncomfortable truth of all. The parasites that have taken over so much of our country, the pants-suited girl boss advertising executives, the skittle-haired they-them activists, the soy-faced pajama-clad work-from-home HR apparatchiks, the Adderall-addicted dog mom diversity consultants, the nasally voiced Ivy League regulatory lawyers, the obese George Soros-funded police abolitionist district attorneys, the hipster trust fund socialists are some of the least impressive people in the history of the world. And he says the Uni Party would never have achieved what it has in this country without a great degree of rottenness, of decadence, of depor, of complacency already afflicting us. The first enemy we must face in our crusade to take back our country is within ourselves. I believe that our best days are in front of us. There are no shortcuts or silver bullets. America's restoration is a task that will require generational sacrifice and toil. The seeds of its renewal, however, are numerous and many are already in the ground. To see them sprout and watch them grow, we need only to strike the match and burn away the dead wood. And he says, I know this because it has happened before. It's how Ronald Reagan engineered the great turnaround from the darkness of the 1970s to the dawn of the 80s. Y'all, this is the book written by the former president of the Heritage Foundation. And this book is the book that J.D. Vance wrote the foreword for. This is why they propped J.D. Vance up. When have you ever seen a one-term senator become the vice president of the United States? You have not. He has no idea what the fuck he's doing, and he doesn't need to because he's only doing whatever they tell him. Y'all understand me? This is why I firmly believe Trump will not be the president in the next, I don't know, 6 to 9 months. I just don't think so. And they don't care. What's up, cuz? Because they've already accomplished what they needed, which to get us in the position that they are in. We are not doomed, however, Susie Blues. We are not. And I will tell you why we are not. The people have always been more powerful than those in government and those in corporations. Y'all get that, right? Ask GM. Ask GM why they have 7 big ass books with union contracts that are thousands of pages long, because people walked up in there and set the fuck down and took over their plants. 4 of them. And that is why you now have a 40-hour work week. That is why you have paid time off. That is why you have a weekend. That is why you have health insurance. And by the way, can we discuss this? Why is your health connected to and dependent upon your willingness to work for someone else? Why is health insurance attached to whether or not you work yourself to the bones for someone else? I'm just, listen, it is very much time for us to understand that we are not in first place in shit. Other countries are. Other countries have figured out that universal health care is the way. They have figured out free public education is the way. They have figured out that it's okay if your fucking green pepper is shaped differently. You can still eat it. Do y'all realize how dumb that sounds? That we will actually throw fucking food away because it's misshapen? How is a naturally grown green pepper misshapen? That's the way God grew it. So let me just understand, Republicans. It's okay to throw away fruit that God grew shaped the way it is, but it's not okay for people to grow up and be how God created them. Nope, those people can't be that. You get it, right? Y'all are that right, because it can't start a commercial, but they're not all in commercials. They only got to pick one pretty one to be in a commercial. And when is the last time you saw a commercial with a green pepper in it? Long ass time. Long ass time. Now you did see that damn double whopper combo, and where the beef is, Arby's, we have the beef. Shit that'll just clog your arteries up and have you just keel over. Right? And now they want you to pay. Listen to how crazy America is. Let me tell y'all, this is how crazy we are. We find capitalistic opportunities everywhere. Somewhere somebody said, oh, they don't want to put out crazy shaped vegetables. Let's buy them all from the grocery stores and make people pay us for them, and we'll deliver them to their house and just call it misfits. What? That's it. We can figure out how to bail out corporations. We can figure out how to give $1 trillion to defense spending. We can figure out how to do all of that, but we can figure out how to build a ridiculous ass concentration camp in the middle of the Everglades, y'all, but we cannot figure out how to feed our children. We cannot figure out how to provide homes for veterans and children. Nope, we can't figure out how to do that. But we can spend $450 million a year and build something in 8 days in the middle of the Everglades when it suits us. We can find planes to take people to 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 Seacot, right? Y'all want to know how much a private plane costs? Y'all want to know how much a military plane costs? Do you want to know how much fuel it takes? They do not care about being fiscally responsible. They throwing them damn ICE folk money right and left. They don't care. If there's a single person listening to me that believes that you can align what this administration is doing, what the GOP is doing, and you can align that with Christianity, meaning the principles and teachings of Jesus Christ, please join the panel. And you might want to bring your Bible with you, because I know mine, and I got one nearby. I'm just saying. I really would like to see that. If you believe that you can justify or align the things that this administration is doing with the Christian principles and teachings of Jesus Christ, join the panel so we can have that chat. Penny G, were you wanting to did you mean to request up? It would be rare if you did, but I want to make sure. Penny G, did you mean to request up? Probably not. Can I say this? Because I saw somebody say the Dems clean up after Republicans every time. Can I also say this? Dems allow Republicans to tear shit up. Can I say that? Dems allow Republicans to pass legislation that benefits rich ass Democrats. And then they want the benefit of being able to say, oh, we cleaned up their mess afterwards. Look how great we are. Do you know what I want the Democratic Party to do? I said this yesterday. Do y'all really know what I want the Democratic Party to do? And I'm going to name some names. How about that? I want Nancy Pelosi and I'm gonna name some people to go along with them. So I want all these people in a video. Y'all know how when you join you might join a company or you go to school and there's like a video where they welcome you to the school or whatever, and then all the people take a minute to introduce themselves, right? And they say, I'm so and so, and da 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 da, and then it goes down the line to the next person. So we're gonna do that in my made up world. So here's what I would love. I want Nancy Pelosi to be the first one right here. Okay, wait. I need to look up one thing real quick. Y'all know I'm looking for something specific. Okay. So, here's how I want Nancy Pelosi's piece to start. You ready? Hi, you guys. I am Nancy Pelosi. And I want to start by acknowledging that there has been tremendous things that I've accomplished in my career as a woman in the Senate and as a Speaker of the House. And there are things that I have just absolutely gotten wrong. And I want to be accountable to you on the things that I've gotten wrong in the places where somehow position and party started coming before the people. I don't know what possessed me to ever wrap a kente cloth around my shoulders and bend a fucking knee because that I don't know what I was doing. I should have never done that shit. And what I should have done as the leader of the Democratic Party is trained up the people to come after me and stepped out of the way when it was time for them to lead. That's what I should have done. And what I'm going to ask for you to do now is to hold me accountable, right? And not hold it against the rest of the party and where we need to go as a country in order to do what needs to be done. I was around for the Democratic Party of the 60s that actually had the backs of the people. And I don't know where we lost our way and somehow we became disconnected from you. But it is time for the younger Democratic Party to step forward. It is time for those of us that have led the way to step back and just provide you support and wisdom along the way. So I apologize for my part, right? And I simply ask that you not hold it against the future of where we need to go. And then I would love for the camera to go right over to Adam Schiff next. That's what I want him to do. And you know what I want Adam to do? I want Adam to say, hey, y'all, this is Adam Schiff. And I know that I can be annoying as fuck. And here's what I promise to do. I promise to sit down and hush so that I can stop being divisive and keep the party from moving forward in the way that it needs to move forward. I think this is probably going to be my last term because in all honesty, Katie Porter would have been much better at my job. Yep, I think so. So I appreciate the time that I've had here, right? But I understand that I am doing more harm than good by staying in this seat. And I don't want to do that because the country is more important than me. Okay? And then I want the camera to go right over here. And y'all not going to like this, but I'm going to do it anyway. You ready? Next, it's going to go to Jasmine, who I think has become a tool of the party. And they need to stop fucking using her and hanging her out as bait. So this is Jasmine Crockett. All right, you guys, I'm Jasmine. And I'm tough and I'm smart. And everything in me wants to stand up for everyone else. And I am tired of women, minority women specifically, being hung out to dry by the Democratic Party. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to fight for my constituents. And I'm going to let some white membership of the Democratic Party stand up and do the heavy lifting. I'm going to let them call out the racism. I'm going to let them call out the YT males. I'm going to let them do that work. And I'm going to take the X off my back and continue to write good legislation and continue to work for my constituents and support the party and where we need to go as people. Got it? That's Jasmine's piece. Y'all okay with that? Y'all thought I was going to be really mean. Nope. And then we can go next to the party. They do. They love to hang us out. Listen, what did they do? What did they do 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago? The squad. They put targets on the backs of all 4 of them women of color. That's what the Democratic Party did. They put targets on the backs of all 4 of those women of color and shame the fuck on them. Right? Nope. No more. No more. Next, Cory Booker. And here's what I want Cory Booker to say. All right, guys. So this is Cory Booker. And let me first take accountability for voting for Jared Kushner's raggedy ass daddy. Because I don't know what the fuck I was thinking, but I was absolutely wrong in that vote. And I know better. I 100% know better. I participated in some shit that I had no business being part of, and you have the right to hold me accountable. You do, 100%. the corporate money I take, right? The corporate money I take, nope, I got to stop taking it. And me and Hakeem and Richie and a few of us, we're going to stop bending to the will of APAC just to get tens of thousands of dollars for our campaign. That's what we're going to do. Because as the Democratic Party, we don't support G-side and terrorism, no matter who's doing it. So I don't know what was wrong with me. Again, I think at some place, the money and the power and the position skewed things. Oh, this is Cory Booker. Right? I got to apologize for the Kushner vote. And I also need to apologize for this. I need to apologize for filibustering when it mattered the least and not when it mattered the most. If I was going to hold my piss for 20 some hours, it needed to be against that one big barbaric bill. That's when I needed to do it. So, and I need to apologize for filibustering and not reading to you the actual court documents of every allegation that's ever been made against the sitting president and his best friend of 15 years. I need to apologize for skimming over the fact that there were allegations made and not read you the actual court details. I need to apologize to you for not giving you the hard, cold truth and the facts and letting the chips fall where they may, because that's my job. Thank you, Living with the Louds. Next, I'm going to move on over to the person who thinks he's Barack Jr. and ain't, Hakeem Jeffries. All right, y'all. This is Hakeem Jeffries. And what I want to say today is that I need to talk fucking faster. I'm sorry. It's in the freezer. I'm sorry, y'all.
It's like a mix of Joe Biden and Donald Trump together.
You got to go ask her. Okay, so sorry. Oh, this is Hakeem Jeffries. I need to apologize for y'all for sitting on the steps of the Capitol in some fucking aviator glasses with Cory Booker, holding a discussion with people who were invited instead of coming into the communities of my constituents, right? I need to apologize to you as the next speaker, right? Or the current speaker minority, for not giving my Republican counterparts a real call to action when it came to that big barbaric bill. When I said to them that they had an opportunity to join us and vote as Democrats, I knew I was fucking up because they were never going to join us as Democrats. What I should have said was that they could join us as public servants of the American people and do the right thing for the people. And I failed you in that moment. 100% absolutely failed you in that moment. And I apologize for that. Right? Next. I could just keep going, y'all. I literally could just keep going down the line. Okay, I'm gonna do it. Some of y'all gonna be real mad for me, mad in a minute, but it's okay. Just hold on to your pearls. Next, Auntie Maxine. This is Maxine Waters, and I'm gonna learn how to shut the fuck up. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna learn how to shut the absolute fuck up. Okay. Because let me tell you things that I have done that is just ridiculous. When there was an individual that was targeting members of the Democratic Party and he was driving around in a white van and packages were being found. Do y'all remember when that was happening? And there were boom booms in those packages, right? And I took my ass on TV and I said, I ain't scared of you. Bring it what you got. And I put everybody else in danger. I was wrong, and somebody should have punched me in my throat that day because I am not more important. My ego is not more important than the lives of my counterparts. That's what Maxine used to say. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut the fuck up. I'm going to find somebody in my district who is young and vibrant and fearless and intelligent and ready to do the work of a public servant. And I'm going to let them come up beside me and I'm going to let them intern and I'm going to show them the ropes and I'm going to show them the places where I've excelled and the places where I have fallen short. And then my ass is going to go enjoy retirement. That's what I'm going to do because it's time to pass the baton. Okay. Next. Chuck Schumer.
Oh God.
Y'all, I'm Chuck Schumer, and please accept this as my resignation letter. That's it. Just stop. Anybody, this is what needs to happen for all of the leadership. Yeah, baby. As soon as I'm done working, I will play Rainbow Friends with you.
When has he messing blocks?
Okay. I know green can see us in the blocks, not blue. Right. I know. So
And poo tell me.
oh, girl, I did Pelosi first. What you mean?
Wait,
I grabbed Pelosi first. Yes, baby.
where do he fly?
Who?
Where do he fly?
Oh, yellow can fly?
Yeah.
Okay.
And where I want to fly.
The yellow monster can fly?
Yeah.
Okay, girl.
And orange mountain is bad.
The orange monster is bad?
Yeah.
Okay, girl. Got it. If y'all have never played Rainbow Friends. So listen, I am the grandmother. They call me Tutu. I am the grandmother that plays Roblox and Minecraft and all the things. So anyway,
I thought she was talking about the orange monster in Office, Danny. I think it's great that you took the time to learn how to play all that stuff for them.
Yeah, listen, when Dominic's he has a Switch and then he has a Switch Lite. When his Switch Lite, when one of the Joy Cons broke, I literally ordered the replacement off Amazon and the tools, watched a YouTube video, took his Switch Lite apart and changed it out. And he was like, "Yeah, my friends are like, my grandma don't play play Roblox with me. My grandma, yeah, we play Smash Bros and whatever, you know, because it's how we do. When I used to not live so close to them, when I used to not live so close to them, there was a game called PKXD, and it's a virtual world, and you have virtual houses together, and so we would build virtual houses, and in my house, I had a bedroom for each of them, like with bunk beds. So we would play together, and then we would get off the game with them in their bunk beds at my house, so that we were having a virtual sleepover, and things like that. So anyway, um, yeah, we do all the things. Reset. Thanks, Cam. Okay, so okay, so let me go right now to John Fetterman. I'm gonna do John Fetterman next. Okay. Hold on. Okay. All right, you guys, this is John Fetterman here. And I know that I misled you all because I wore a hoodie and everybody thought I was cool and in touch with regular people, but I'm not. I'm not. I'm just a wolf in sheep's clothing and I have done more damage than I have done good. And please vote me out the next time that you all have an election. Okay. Because I shouldn't be in office. Yeah. Okay. That's John Fetterman for me. Um, I'm trying to think. Who am I missing, y'all? Because I'm doing Democrats. Yeah, he's on the Republican side. I don't expect any of them to do that, but I could do a whole slew of them too. But let me just say this. AOC, here's what I would say. Yeah, so AOC does need to say something. And here's what she needs to say. AOC needs to say this. All right, y'all. This is AOC. And, I pride myself on being very transparent and being very real with people, right? We all know that I was a waitress, that I bartended, all the things. Oh, I did Crockett too already. And I do believe in the things that I stand for. I do believe in a free state of Palestine. I do believe those things. And I know that sometimes I may do something that people don't agree with. And what I need to get better at is not only being transparent when I do the things that you love and support, but I need to be transparent when I do the things that you don't. And I need to share my thought process as to why I make the decisions that I do and be open to maybe thinking a little bit differently, right? Um, I also I also have missed the boat on finding places and areas where we can compromise. So I know that a Green New Deal would be amazing. I also know that things don't change overnight. And I came into this, as you all know, very young, very optimistic, very hopeful. And in doing that and calling a thing, I potentially have put people in places where I missed an opportunity to work with them because in my youth and my exuberance, I was offensive. Whether I intended to be or not, I was. I'm from the Bronx, baby. um, so what I will say to you is that I am growing. I am doing better. And I will look for those opportunities to cooperate so that we can move forward because some progress is better than no progress at all. That's my AOC.
Something, Danny, when AOC came out, I was down in Texas going, dang, we sure need somebody like her down here.
Yeah. Yeah. So let me get a drink of water. All right.
Somebody needs to get those people off of Ilhan's back, though.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. She doesn't do herself any favors either. I want these folks, I want folks to learn how to say things in a way where they cannot attack you. Right? So when I wrote the Substack that I wrote today, I know the intention. I know the first thing that people are going to say. And so I'm going to make sure that I address it. The best time to overcome an objection is before you get it. The best time to overcome the criticism is before you get it. The best time to handle the bullshit or the attack is before it comes. I'm going to take away your ammo if I do it properly, right? And that's why I reiterated consistently. These two things are not related. And no matter how many times you say it, they are not the same thing. Being against Benjamin Netanyahu is not the same thing as being against Jewish people. It's not. Being against the government of Israel is not being against the people of Israel. It is not. And so what people need to start doing when they say these things is lead with that. Lead with that. You're never going to say that being pro humanity is anti anyone else. No, you don't get to put me in that box. And that's what they need to lead with. Ilmar has got to say things the right fucking way. You cannot give, let me tell you what we see. This is the thing. And black folk, we know this. Listen, you cannot give them an opportunity. You can give them no opportunity to paint you a certain way because they will take it and run with that motherfucker. And they will ride it till the wheels fall off. You cannot do that. That is how, you guys, I ran a peaceful protest in Northeast Tennessee. And from November 14th of 2018 all the way until I left there in January of 2021, they could not do anything with me. What's up, Sonny? Not even when I was sitting outside a hospital on a public right of way, 4 foot wide for 257 days. That is where I resided. And they actually put up a different camera on the parking garage across the street from me in order to be able to see and hear us better. And the day they did that shit, I just picked up the whole fucking camp and moved it down the hill. Bitch. That's what I did. But this is the thing, right? What I knew, people would say things to me like, girl, you should go and you should take that protest outside of Alan's house. No, the fuck I shouldn't. No, I shouldn't. Number one, that's his personal residence. I'm never going to take a corporate fight to his home. I'm not doing that.
No, you're not going to make somebody feel unsafe.
No, I'm not doing that. Other people said, oh, y'all should just block traffic. It's a fucking hospital. No, I'm not. Right? I'm not. Listen, you cannot do the things that other people can do. There were people that stood in the board of mayor and alderman meeting. White girl, mad as hell. She was pounding on the desk and yelling at him, and you work for me. I never did that. You want to know why? Because literally when all I did was talk like this, they threatened to have me arrested and escorted out. I did call his bluff that day, though. I had had enough of his raggedy ass. Pat Scholl, you. Ugh. But I'm just saying, you know that there are things that you cannot do. And that's the thing that Ilmar knows. And for whatever reason, she's not behaving in that manner. And you have to. You have to walk that line. So close. So close. But you don't give them any ammo. None. And that's what she needs to do. Just saying. She can take that target off of her. Matter of fact, let me just go ahead and tell you, there are many people that could take the target off of her. Melanie Stansbury could take the target off of her. I do love her. I also, as strong as her voice is, I want her to use it to protect the women of color that walk alongside her.
Absolutely.
That's what I want her to do. 100%. There's another one. The one that talked about Christianity and whatever. I can't think of her name right now. There are several of them that's what they need to do. That's their responsibility. I should never, ever, ever have to hear Jasmine or Ilmar or AOC or any of them speak anything about race. That should be the job of the white members of Congress. The white members of the Democratic Party, that's your job. And then the black members of Congress and the brown members of Congress, it's your job to be talking about good God almighty, LGBTQ plus individuals. That's our job. White folk in the Democratic Party, your assignment is immigration. All damn day. Not black folk, not brown folk, white Democratic members. I'm tasking you with racism, gerrymandering, and immigration. Go do that work. Right? Black and brown folk. I'm tasking you with LGBTQ plus initiatives and veterans. Got it? You go handle that. I don't know why they're not assigning things in the way that they could be done. And then I need right. And I need my white Democrats. I need you to do all the heavy lifting for Native Americans and indigenous folks. That's your job too. Yes, you are carrying more than others, but it's your fucking turn.
We caused all the issues, Danny. We need to stand up and fix them.
I'm just saying. Oh, listen, I need all of the white men first in the Democratic Party, seconded by the black men in the Democratic Party. I need all of you all to go take reproduction classes. I need you to all sit down with perinatal, prenatal, postnatal experts. I need you to sit down with NICU nurses, neonatologists, high risk specialists. I want all of you all to take an 8-week course with those individuals. That's what I want you to do. And then I want you to address all of the dumbass legislation when it comes to women's bodies. That's what I need you to do. That's your assignment. Men in the Democratic Party.
I want them to pull in the Supreme Court while they're at it.
Okay, so are we going to do it like a real Christmas list? Because I could do more than the Supreme Court. But but yes, but here.
Like they need to like do the House of Representatives.
Yes, babe.
And Congress, and the Senate.
But right now, this isn't just about what. So here's the thing: the Democrats don't have the numbers to do that. And before they could even get the support to do that, the first thing they have to do is clean up their own party. They have to clean up their own party, their own reputation, their own everything. And that means they've got to get real with the American people and say, we have missed the fucking boat and we have let you down.
Christina, we don't need Danny to be president. We need her to keep being our Olivia Pope.
I'm just saying. So listen, here's the thing. I was listening to somebody yesterday and they were so frustrated. And they were saying, none of these Republicans will take accountability. And I said, well, show me a Democrat that's doing that. I do sometimes, Uncle Daddy. I do sometimes. But this is my thing. Thank you, Sandy, for that reminder. This is my thing. The Democratic Party needs to stop pointing out the shitty things about the Republican Party. We know them. We can see that. And when you say it, let me tell you the reason why they have to stop talking about it. Because the people that you need to reach don't believe your ass anyway. And the people that you need to reach ain't listening to you anyway. They're just like, I ain't listening to you talk about that. Because what have you done for me lately? Not shit. Listen, 1975 don't count no more. It's 2025. If we was married, this would be our silver anniversary, and you ain't bought me shit in the last 50 years.
Yeah.
Just saying. What you got, Jeremiah?
Hey, just real quick, I know you got a hard stop in like 15 minutes, and I did have a purpose for sitting here laughing at your execution today. I love it all, Danny. You know I do. Do you mind if I share about somebody that's doing some amazing work, individual down in South Carolina?
Nope.
Okay, her name is Mitchie Pearson, and her handle on TikTok is Not Your Regular Breakfast. And in 34 days, she served over 1,000 meals to children in need in her community. And she's stepping up in a way when our administration is actively removing food assistance for children and destroying food overseas. She's stepping up and feeding folks. And again, it's not your regular breakfast. It's in South Carolina. Her name is Mitchie Pearson. Her partner is Sierra. And I'm just trying, you got 367 this year.
Okay,
and
baby.
Get all 367 of us send her some love. She's got an Amazon wish list and Venmo and all the stuff, that you can contribute to the work.
Love that.
And they've had some news stations down there with
Hold
her
on, I'm
that
almost
have
done.
highlighted her. But I just think it's important in this time that we focus on the people, the helpers that are doing the good work, that are out there pulling the communities together and providing for these kids and people in need. When our administration, our government, our tool is actively working against it.
100%.
I appreciate you letting me share that, Danny.
Yeah, it's not your regular breakfast. Is her handle. Not your regular breakfast. Okay, so somebody asked me who I would put up for president. Yes, baby.
I gotta drop off, Danny.
Okay, thanks. Do I know where? Yeah.
Have a good day, Jen.
All right, appreciate you, Jen. Yeah. So do me a favor though. Can you take this? You can use my charger, but then can you do me a favor? Can you ask Auntie Bree to get you an outfit because we're going to go meet your teacher soon?
Oh,
So I thought about this last night, and I'm going to tell you who, if I could pick for 2028 a dream team to get the country back together, y'all gonna think I'm crazy. I would choose Pete Buttigieg and James Tallarico.
James Tallarico is amazing, and honestly, when I first heard him, I thought he was a preacher.
Yeah, because he's a Christian.
Yeah,
Yep.
because he is a Christian, and then I realized he was a politician, and that he was doing great things for Texas.
Yep.
And I was like, "Oh, you've got my follow."
Do you know why I would? Do you know why I would pick those two?
Because they balance each other out.
Extremely well. Tallarico would be able to talk to the Christians in the country and represent the ideals and values and the principles and teachings of Jesus Christ. Pete Buttigieg represents everything that is incredible and possible in our LGBTQ plus communities, as well as our veterans. They have the ability to do that. Now, let me go ahead and handle the objections already. Yes, they are both white. Yes, they are both male. I hear you. And what I'm going to say, just being what it is, okay? We have spent 10 years in this country revisiting, unaliving, resurrecting, if you will, the racism in this country. And we will not be able to undo it fast enough to make that happen on a presidential level.
I think they're saying that it's going to take 2 generations to undo the damage that's been done.
I don't believe that in terms of running. I don't love Cory Booker. I don't. I don't love the PAC money that he takes. I don't love the APAC money that he takes. And I don't like the fact that he voted for Jared Kushner's daddy. I don't. I want him to do some shit that really fucking matters. And holding his pee doesn't do it for me. So, sorry. When I think about people of color that I would even want to see, no to Newsom. No, he's not relatable. He is California for sure. He is not presidential, and he can be problematic.
He needs to keep working where he's at too, because
Yes.
He's going toe to toe with Texas.
The only people of color that I can't think of I may be missing someone, but I cannot think of a male person of color in Congress that I would want to run for president or vice president. I can't think of one. I could think of some women.
Melissa said she's taking a break from politics for a while.
I do. There are some women that I think that could get there by 3032, but not by 2028. I'm just saying. And I think for 2028, Kamala has too much baggage. I don't know that people will forgive her for what's happened in Palestine, even though it wasn't her place to fix it or rectify it. I just don't foresee that right now. I am not she will eventually be great, Gina Fred. What about Bashir? No, Bashir needs to stay in Kentucky. Andy Bashir needs to stay in Kentucky. And he does not have the national, Andy Bashir does not have the national reach and reputation right now that James Tallarico does. I'm not sure about Westmore, to be honest. So, that's just my thought. I don't get to pick people, but I think that James Tallarico and Pete Buttigieg absolutely balance each
Isaiah
other.
Martin.
Not yet.
No, not yet. But after he has served in Congress.
I don't know. I don't know enough about him yet. I haven't seen him serve in Congress.
Let me tell you what, though, he never lost his cool when he got arrested.
Yep. But here's
or
what
any
here's
of that.
here's my thing. That Joker knew he was trying to get arrested. There was a plan. I need to see just I just need to see, like, candidates are great when they're candidates. What's my thought on Roy Cooper? My thoughts are that Roy Cooper will win the North Carolina Senate seat because North Carolinians love him. He's got the experience to do the job, and he's incredible. Absolutely no for Josh. What's his name? PA. I see the man's face. What's his name? PA's governor. Why can't I think of Shapiro? Thank you, Shapiro. See, my thing is no. I will tell you now. He has issues when it comes to vouchers, and I'm not sure that the Israel Palestine thing would not come to get him as well. These are just my thoughts right now. But anyway, I don't get to pick people, y'all.
You have
Melanie,
6 minutes left.
yeah, Melanie Stansberry needs to stay in Congress and do heavy lifting for women of color. Big Gretch, I do like her in Michigan. I will tell you this though, she needed to let her people know she was going to go talk to Trump before she went. She did not do that, and that's a problem. And people were turned off that it looks like she went to kiss the ring. So I would say she's not there for that. And Andy Bashir needs to stay in Texas. In Kentucky. I keep saying that. Andy Bashir needs to stay in Kentucky. So those are my thoughts about everybody and everything. We've covered a lot. I appreciate you all for hanging in there with me. Sharon, was there something that you wanted to say before?
Well, it's like going back quite a ways now, but it had to do with the AB thing.
Yeah.
A long time ago, I was watching a show and they were doing a story about a woman who had an AB, and then she later got married and had a child. And when the child got old enough to talk,
Hey, I made an outfit
the
for Bella.
child said, "Mommy, I forgive you." And she said, "Forgive me for what?" And the child said, "For giving me up before." The child knew that she had the AB. And I can't remember what show it was on. I can't remember if it was like a Christian show or one of those, like, you're not going to believe this kind of thing happens.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
I mean,
And I was like, oh my gosh, we really do kind of get reincarnated sometimes.
I think that people have different beliefs. And I think that people have to kind of take that, I don't know, as it resonates with them. This is the way I always feel. The way I always feel about things that are spiritual for people is I feel like take what resonates and leave what doesn't. You know what I mean? And that's hers. That's the way I always feel about those types of things.
I was like 2 or 3 years old when they said that.
Yeah.
Children that age are not cognizant of lying.
Yeah. Well, here's what I will say is, y'all, Bella has said to me things like about hearing her things going off, like her alarms going off and nurses coming running when she was in the NICU. Do I know if she really remembers that or if she just heard us talking? I don't know. And it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, it just is what it is.
Well, and like earlier when Mila was like asking about her uncle.
Yeah. Yeah.
How would she know to suddenly out of nowhere?
Yeah. I mean, he was fine. He was at home and all of those
Yeah,
things.
but
You know what I mean? So I just pay attention to things like that. Okay, let me just check and make sure everything's good. Um, so I don't know, but you know what I mean? Yeah, he was fine. So
nobody said it was a fact, Cat.
just relax, folks. Relax.
It's just something that I saw, and it was her
Yes.
story to tell.
I
And I
can't.
was
Yes.
just talking about it because of what was being said at the time. And if you weren't here at the time, you would not know what was being said.
Yeah, they are, and they are, and yeah, this is my thing, folks. Everybody has to, like I said, this is the way that I always approach these things: is take what resonates, leave what doesn't. And what resonated for you won't be what resonated for other folks, and that's cool. That's fine. She's just make sure you double check. I forgot, what am I double checking? Oh, Phantom, I need to get with you too. I have to get something. I do have to get something. It is now time. In the next yes. Yeah. Appreciate you, Sharon. Appreciate you, Sharon. Appreciate you, Jeremiah, as always. You're always a hoot.
I love you, Danny. I love you so much, girl. I missed you. I got accused of being addicted to you.
Oh, that's so funny.
I tried to do a faithful job of holding some space in the AM.
I appreciate it.
Your community has welcomed me in, and it
Yeah.
feels like family here, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And,
We have good people.
yes,
We
such
do.
good people.
Yeah.
Such good people. I think we need to remember that there's a lot of good people in this world, and
Yeah.
if we spend a little time focusing on them and what they're doing, I think people's blood pressure and people's state of mind,
Yeah. Decompress a little bit.
It's not all doom and gloom.
Nope.
We're gonna get on the other side of all of this, and hopefully it'll be a brighter day.
Appreciate you, JT. Yep. Appreciate you, Jeremiah. All right. So, folks, I'm going to go take this little miracle girl of mine to meet her teacher and deliver some school supplies because thanks to one of my subscribers, a bunch of them got dropped at my doorstep, which I love. And now I've got to go through them, separate them, put them into things, and then get them over there. So we got a lot to do. Yeah. It was pretty awesome, Lisa. Lisa, you should get an email with your ticket. I think that Tallarico, living with the Louds, Tallarico, he's out of Texas. So anyway, I appreciate you all, and I will see you all tomorrow. I will not be live tonight because we still have not unpacked. My house is a wreck and I got to get things in order. So I will see you all later. Appreciate you much. Take care. Bye, guys. All right.